And today we're doing a fire starter box with Brian. Just everything will be found on the pine tree and this empty cigarette box that I found on the ground. First thing we're going to do is get mad at the airplane that just decided to go over. So, alright, so take this out and you just kind of, the top side, squeeze it out a little bit, not the bottom side, just the top side. Make sure to push this back. Then this is ready. We're going to go and get some of these down here, the dried out pine leaves or needles. That should be good enough right there. Then we're going to just fold at the ends in, fold in the center. Fairly simple. Put them in, shove them down, kind of pack them into the bottom there. And see, the next thing we're going to do is grab some bark. We're going to take this that's just left off, crunches up just fine. Nothing to hurt the tree, just a little bit of wood. And just toss some of those down in there, push them on down. Don't pack it too tight. See how it's still kind of loose in there? Just push them down. And the next thing we do is we're going to grab a pine cone. So all we're going to do with that, we're going to take this like this. So you get some of that like that. There. I find that the little hairs are helpful. If you twist when you pull off, you still get some in here. When I try to pull it out like this, they're still kind of together instead of just ripping off, easier to catch. And then you just put those in your box, same as before. Put them in, push them down a little bit. Now we're going to have to find some sap. There's a decent amount of sap here. So now I find that if you try to get it like this, you're going to find a little hard spot, and then it's going to snap in like that. You'll go all the way through and stab your hand. So what you need to do is hold your hand from under. Now this is a big gob of sap. This is a lot more than I actually need. You're not going to find sap like that normally. It's going to be kind of like this down here. In these little spots, like this. You just hold your hand underneath. See how I tried to slide? You can scrape some of that up. Okay, and then you got other spots over here. Now sometimes you'll find it like this here. Okay, it's going to do the same thing as above. You just get in there and pry it up a little bit. It's going to be like crushed up little hard candy. It's like a butterscotch that's been stepped on or something. Those work too. They work just fine. But never, ever, ever, never go like this. You're gonna stab your hand at some point in time. There's a little more of that. And then you have little spots like this here. Now this tree just seems to have an abundance of it. Now, normally you don't find this much on a tree at all. Now, this outer layer is completely soaked with sap. The inside is too, even though it took off a little bit of the bark here, that right there is all saturated. Try to get some of this here. Very gentle. Don't want to hurt ourselves or the tree. See how that's sap all over it. We want to get some that has sap on it. We want to get some sap that's by itself. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out the pieces that have sap on it and put those in here. Okay? Now, at this point, what I like to do is gather some more pine needles. Normally I gather the brown ones that are on the tree, but this one doesn't seem to have any this time. Yeah, it does. Let me see if I can try to get some of it. Hold on. I got some right up there. You see those brown ones? Yeah. They seem to catch good. And if you find some of these that are still dried out from winter, grab those. Now, this here, we'll just do it the same way. At the edge, fold over, but I'm only going to need about half of it. Pack that down in there a little bit, like that. Then those little guys that we found before, I'm going to kind of crush them up and put them in. I don't know if you can see in the wind what they do. Crush up like that, makes a nice little powder. Little pieces, little powder on there. Alright, now those chunks that we found before, I've got them all powdered up now, which is okay because that makes them easier to collect for this next spot and helps get some of it off your hands too, because it is sticky. We'll put that on top. Then I'm going to go ahead and take some of this real gooey gunky here, put it on top. Shouldn't need much, just a little bit. That's probably a lot more than I need. Now, close the top. Make sure everything's on the inside. Pull this piece of plastic if it still has it. You pull that down and you, off of it, and you push in the little corners here as best as you can. Try to keep that going and see if you can't get that slid in there. That helps keep it, the top part, safer from moisture. I'm not any good at that, but I still try to do it anyways. Pain in the butt, but it will work. It will do it. Just takes a little time. And there you go. And you just store it somewhere dry, somewhere safe. Alright, so this is the firebox that we just made a second ago, or a little bit ago. Take this off, throw it away, don't leave it around. And I like to put a little hole in the bottom here, a little breathing hole. You take this down and you leave this on because it helps block the wind some. But just take a lighter, some way to ignite it. The wind's so bad here right now. well, she's gonna go. As you can see, she's catching pretty good and then going. I don't know if you can see down there or not, but it doesn't look like it. You might be able to see. You might be able to see that bubbling down there. I don't know. We're gonna pause for a little bit and come back to it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this out, mainly because there's a lot of people around and they got cocky eyes. But you see the smoke coming out of the back end. Helps keep feeding it with oxygen, drawing that fire to the other side. But yeah, that's all you need. You can build any fire with this pretty much.